question that you asked. You got some pretty strong backlash from the public. You can talk about that. But I want to know from the panel if you feel like the audience reaction to you as journalists of color is different in this cycle, given your public profiles, given the media world, the social media world that we all live in, and the tenor and of the environment out there right now. Is it more heated and more personal? What are you seeing?
Definitely, I can tell you definitely it is more heated. You know, as some of you may know, I was commencement speaker at American University, our alma mater, and Cal State Fullerton, and I said the same thing in both. I was talking precisely about the fact that we become public enemy number one, that they're accusing us of creating Donald Trump, but that fortunately, because of technology, now we can prove that the person who said they didn't say something actually did say it. Well, somehow that got misrepresented, and for a whole week, I received hundreds of tweet messages from Trump supporters saying everything from go back to Mexico, go back to Cuba, go back to Central America, go back to Spain. They never said go back to California, which is where my home state. To really ugly P word and the B word, and I hope your daughters get cancer. I mean, that's the kind of reaction, because there was an interpretation that I said, why don't you use your tools to attack Trump? So, and also because I spoke Spanish during the event in a school, which is the #1 school for graduating Hispanics in the state of California, #5 in the country. So because I spoke Spanish during the commencement speech, I was attacked. So I think it's very, very, very vicious. I have never in my life seen that type of language used towards someone that you differ with on social media
because of your gender.
So I can't tell in some ways if it's more passionate because I'm a journalist of color or a woman, because I think that, because I mean, I've never been anything else, right? So I think that I've always written stuff, like I've written about Trayvon Martin, I covered the trial of George Zimmerman. People have always been angry at me and told me I was a Muslim man when they saw my name. So I think that like, in some ways people are always, so I guess there's that, like my name is Yamiche Alcindor, so that does something for some people already. But I can say that this election cycle, it's my first time covering an election cycle. So, but what I can say is that there's a lot more, I'll call it passion, especially if you wrote about Bernie Sanders. I didn't write that much about Trump. So when you wrote about Bernie Sanders and my colleagues would write about Bernie Sanders, they would be like, wow, I'm getting a lot back. Like, how do you, like, this is what happens. And I'm like, yeah, I got used to it after a while. Obviously that press conference, I got more of it, but I should say as someone who has grown up on Twitter, who's very much, I think, did like a digital native, I like to respond to people. I'm the same person on Twitter that I am right now. So if you say, oh, you know, that was a stupid question, that was crazy, I'll say, well, this is what journalists do. You watch me do my job today. I'm the person who's supposed to ask hard questions. There are women who wanted to ask hard questions. There are people of color who want to ask hard questions. And I know you called it a burden, but for me, I call it a privilege. Not even a responsibility, but a privilege to be sitting at the New York Times being able to ask Bernie Sanders questions. So,
Kevin, it's interesting as I